Welcome to Tyrrell County Public Library's Cooking with the Library. My name is Lynda and I'm a part-time library technician. With the weather starting to turn a little bit chillier, I thought it would be fun to make a minestrone soup. This is not our family recipe. I actually have no clue where I got this recipe, but I've been making it for about a decade. It is chock full of veggies and beans and grains such as quinoa, which may be a new term, but it actually is a complete protein grain. And so the reason why all this stuff is in there is because within an hour you still will not be hungry. Like with most soups, they kind of work through your system fairly quickly. So your house is going to be smelling amazing and everybody's going to be wanting some, so let's get cooking. Okay, so I'd like to show you my ingredients, and then I'm going to pause for a moment so I can get it all prepped. I like to start this recipe having everything prepped before we get going. All right, so here are my ingredients. Okay, so my ingredients are 1 sweet onion, medium diced, 2 celery stalks, medium diced, 3 carrots, medium diced, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, or enough to cover the bottom of the pot, 2 cloves of garlic, finely chopped, 2 cups of fresh zucchini, medium diced, about 1 medium or 2 small, 2 cups of green beans cut into 1-inch pieces, 1 bell pepper, medium diced, 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, and 2 28-ounce cans of water, 1 15-ounce can of cannellini beans, and 1 15-ounce can of chickpeas, 1 cup of quinoa, 2 cups of kale, the stems removed, and the leaves chopped. And I like throwing in 1 teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of pepper flakes, some salt and pepper to taste. So let's get cooking. Welcome back. I wanted you to see what the prep work looks like before we start tossing everything in the pot. So let's get cooking. Okay, so let's get cooking here. I am going to turn on my burner onto a medium heat. Now I'm going to add a couple teaspoons of oil. I might be a little bit more than a couple tablespoons, not teaspoons. For me, I'm not great with recipes. I kind of like to start mixing and matching, which is probably why this recipe isn't the original recipe from wherever I got it from. Next, we're going to be putting in the onions. Leave those little pieces of garlic up on this board for a bit. Okay, onions in. Then carrots and celery. A piece of zucchini or pepper goes in, so be it. Who truly follows recipes to a T? All right, in the bowl. In you go. Okay. So now we have the carrots, the onions, and the celery in. And we are going to give it a good mix so the oil is coating it thoroughly. And this is on medium heat. And we are, now that it's coated, we are going to leave it to soften a bit. Okay, the recipe calls for a pinch of red pepper flakes. I like mine a little bit more than a pinch, so in goes some red pepper flakes. And now we're going to put in the garlic. And we're going to mix this up. It already smells great in this house. Okay, we're going to let that cook for a minute or so. garlic to get a little bit of color to it. Not a lot, just a little. The onions are now translucent. So I'm looking for a piece of garlic in there to see if we're browning it all. Probably give it another minute or so. Maybe another minute or so to see. And then I will add in next the zucchini, the green beans, and the pepper. And I will season it with salt and pepper, stir it up, and then throw in some turmeric. Okay, so green beans in. Zucchini and peppers are going in. Okay, so now we are going to mix this all up. And I can season with salt and pepper. About that much pepper to start. I always add a lot in afterwards. And the salt will get a couple shakes. I don't know, hard to determine there. Okay, I'm gonna mix that up. So again, everything is duly coated and getting its brown on. And finally, we are going to add in some turmeric. We like the health benefits of turmeric, so I go with the full teaspoon. If this is new to you, I'd start at a half a teaspoon because it does have a strong flavor. Okay, turmeric also stains, so it will turn everything a yellow. So be careful what it touches, including your fingers. All right, so I'm going to let that saute for a bit. My poor wooden spoon gets beat up. Okay, we're going to let that simmer or cook up for about 3-4 minutes. Okay, I'm going to give it a quick stir before I add. And I can see it browning a little bit at the bottom. Nice. There's going to be some nice chunks in there to pick up once the fluid gets added, the liquid, excuse me. Okay, next goes a can of crushed tomatoes. And now I'm going to add this water to this can twice and add it in. I'm going to stir this up before I add the second can of water into it. Oh, if you could smell this house right now. All right, let me get the next one. All right, second one's in. Now I'm going to bring up the temperature to high, and I'm going to bring this to a boil. Okay, now that we've got it up to a boil, that took about 10 minutes, I am going to lower the heat to medium-low and let it do a slow boil or a slow simmer for about 20 minutes before I start adding the last of the ingredients. So I'm going to pause here and come back to you when it's time to start adding in more ingredients. But I am going to lower the temperature to a medium-low right now. See you in about 20. Okay, 20 minutes has passed. As you can see, we've got a low boil going. The next instructions are to add the quinoa. So a cup of quinoa is going in. Again, it's a protein, a grain, so it will make it hearty and filling. And what we are going to do is we are going to cover this and let it sit for about 15 minutes. So I will be back in 15 minutes. Well, that was a fast 15 minutes. Now we're going to add the last of the ingredients. I'm going to give this a stir. You can see the quinoa, the tricolored quinoa in there, puffing up, different from how it went in. So now we are going to add our kale, which has been chopped. Some of it's hitting the floor, so I may not have a full 2 cups. Try and get all the little pieces just in case. And the beans. And now I'm going to turn up the heat just slightly. And I'm going to mix this all up. And I am just going to let it cook for a few minutes until the kale is wilted and the beans have been warmed. And then I'll serve up a plate so you can see it. This house smells fabulous. Nice and thick. I believe Rachel Ray calls the difference between stew and soup stoop. So this is my version of stoop. So let's let this do a slow rolling boil. And the instructions say let it go for about 5 minutes. So I'm going to let that happen, and then we're going to serve this up. Okay, I'm going to shut off the heat now. It's been 5 minutes, and I'm going to plate up and show you what the finished product looks like. See you in a moment. Okay, here's the finished product. I'm going to add a little Parmesan cheese to it because that's how I like mine. And I also made some garlic bread to go along with it. Bon appetit! I hope you try this and you like it, and would love to hear from you if you do. Please like our Facebook page and subscribe to the Tyrrell County Public Library's YouTube channel. Have a great holiday season. Thanks for tuning in.